Hey there, Reverend Sully, Eric O'Sullivan, ordained on the internet. The caveat, as always, please do not burn your hands holding on to my hot takes. If you do, well, that's on you, pal. Today, it's a movie of the week, and it's something I plan on doing every week, a movie of the week. And with the release of Denis Villeneuve's Dune, I am going to do what I call an academic viewing of the previous Dunes. I'm a big fan of the book. I am a huge fan of the 1984 David Lynch version. I'm going to put a description in the description below. I got a previous video on that. I just picked this up, Jodorowsky's Dune, which is a documentary on the failed mid-1970s first movie adaptation. It is really, really a good story. Even his adaptation deviated so far from Frank Herbert's original vision. It's astounding. But yet, it was the seed of basically a lot of great sci-fi to come after that. So in the failure, there was a lot that was accomplished. So much so that three of the major creatives behind Jodorowsky's Dune went on to do a little movie with Ridley Scott called Alien. Chris Foss, H.R. Geiger, and O'Bannon. And we all know that little story. But today I want to talk about the 2000 and 2003 Sci-Fi Channel miniseries Dune and Children of Dune. I just finished watching this. It took about 9 hours. And this is actually the span of time it takes to tell the vast story of Frank Herbert's original 6 books. And this only covers the first 3 books. And you see what I did there? Just like in Inglourious Bastards. 3 bears. And Dune released, and Frank Herbert's Dune released in December of 2000 was about just under 5 hours to watch. And the 2003, released in March of 2003, was the sequel, Children of Dune, which adapted and condensed Dune Messiah, Book 2, and Children of Dune, Book 3, into a movie format, a miniseries. And that took about a little under 4.5 hours. Wow. I mean, I'm doing it. Doing it. I didn't need to get any sandy. Oh, gosh. Puns. But this was a great experience. This is better than I remembered. Look beyond the limitations of the special effects, and it really captures a lot of the scope of Dune. Dune is a huge story. And I am also about to do a rewatch of 84 Lynch and cap it off tonight, hopefully with watching Villeneuve's 2021 Dune, which I think I had a problem with, and I'll discuss it in a later video. But yeah, no spoilers on this one. This was a really, really good time, and as a Dune fan, if you haven't seen the Dune miniseries, this costs $50. Seriously, it's worth every dime. And it's love having it part of my Dune collection. I am a huge fan of Dune. I saw the 84 movie when it came out. I was 11 years old. It was confounding then. It's its own thing. Yet it was the gateway to the books, which I read throughout high school and all my early 20s. And I almost got a tattoo when I quit smoking cigarettes. After 13 years of quitting smoking, one of the major characters, Farad'n Carino, he is given a new name by Leto Atreides, the God Emperor, Hark al-Ada. And that's an actual Arabic phrase, and I have it written down in Arabic. It means breaking of the habit or breaker of the habit. And it's a very powerful phrase. And I still consider it to this day to get, a tattoo. I'm a little, shy to get maybe some Arabic. Maybe I should get something in Gaelic instead, my own family motto. But I digress. But Dune is just, it takes its time, because it has the time as a miniseries to cover all the story notes. There is no need for a compression or the distillation of the adaptation. It has the opportunity to tell the long form story in its longer form. Dune itself would be best probably done as a series on, since Sopranos, since all the Netflix content mentality, Dune would be best probably told as a huge miniseries to cover the entire scope of the 6 books. Now, the 4th book is my favorite, The God Emperor of Dune, where it's a couple of thousand years after the events of Dune. Leto II has played by James McElroy, a very young James McElroy, and just McAvoy, sorry. He played Professor X and the young Professor X in the X-Men movies, and lots of other good roles. But James McAvoy plays Leto II, and in order to accomplish his vision of the Golden Path, he needs to transcend humanity, and he needs to become a hybrid with the sandworm, the source of the spice, melange. And by doing so, he becomes more than human and less than human. And God Emperor is where the true power of the Dune series comes into play, because we see the Golden Path come to fruition. We see that humanity has painted itself into a corner by becoming complacent, by becoming docile, by becoming unimaginative. There is no struggle anymore. There is an enforced equality. There is no more competition. And because Herbert's writing is just it uses allegory in a very nuanced way to bring up things, and through the enforced equalization by making humanity was going to perish. So what Leto did, this Golden Path, was to save humanity. It was to, and by disrupting, but by bringing his Golden Path into fruition by the end of God Emperor, it was he had disrupted humanity to the point that humanity needed to scatter among the cosmos in order to reinvent itself, to find, to be challenged, and to bring out the best in humanity. And there was suffering involved, and there was competition for resources involved, and there was, and there were new ways to think involved. And this is where I think the power of Dune is that we need to invent new ways to cope with the new problems as we march through history and as we march through the future. To rely upon 19th and 20th century points of view while we're in the 21st century. I mean, no, we need 21st century solutions for 21st century problems. We're going to need new ideologies and new politics and new solutions to new problems. that, so to think of something as such as simplistic as red and blue, or Democrat and Republican, or conservative and liberal, um, or socialist and capitalist. I mean, it's so limiting. It's so binary. It's so on and off. Humanity is a greater spectrum than we ever imagined. And something like Dune gives us the imagination to grasp to reach for new ideas. Oh, the turkey's done. Well, I'm going to wrap it up. Children of Dune and Frank Herbert's Dune, the miniseries. While Denis Villeneuve's Dune 2021 is getting all the attention, it's a great time to look back on what led to the magnificent movie that everyone's raving about. My suggestion would be to go hustle down your own copy of Frank Herbert's complete Dune and Children of Dune. If you are a fan of Dune, this is worth the time, attention, money, and space on your shelf, too. Invest in physical media. Get yourself a copy. As I said, I got mine on Amazon for $50, 50. But guess what? That's $10 a disc. And it's a 9-hour event. And it's still not enough time to embrace everything. There were so many little missed things here and there. They didn't call Paul Usul, Thufir Hawat, dies in the Fall of Arrakeen. He doesn't become a Harkonnen stooge. There's no mention of the wedding of Ghanima and Leto II. There's no mention of Faradin becoming Harkalada. It's just because it's impossible to cram every detail of the book into these movies. But guess what? They did a darn good job of it. They really did. I'm very impressed with this. It's almost 20 years old. It is 20 and 21 and 18 years old. And as of this recording, it does have its limitations with the CGI effects. But so what? Are you gonna, look back on Jason and the Argonauts and think that Ray Harryhausen was a puppeteer with his stop motion? That stuff's magnificent for its day. I mean, we have to, if we're gonna, watch old things, we have to appreciate where it came from and how. I mean, the sets, the costumes. This was done, for a sci-fi channel, a cable TV station, on a, I think about a $20 million budget for each one. And that's a huge cast with costumes and with sets and with practical special effects and then all the CGI special effects. I mean, this is a really good addition for any Dune fan. I highly suggest it. It's worth the time. And you know what? Hey, if you like this kind of content, well, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, well, give me a thumbs down. I'm a big lad. I can handle it. Leave a comment in the comments section. Are you a Dune fan? Did you like the new Dune movie? I'm about to watch it for the first time. And I have future videos about it. Dune's a huge subject for me as a sci-fi fan. Leave your comment in the comments section. Let's continue this conversation. And you know what? Give me a subscribe if you can. I would definitely love to be part of your YouTube viewing. I like to create positive pop culture content. I do go on the occasional rant, but that's just being balanced. I'm an ordained minister. I talk about spirituality and theology. So I also do a Sunday sermon, and I'm a professional chef. I lend cooking hacks, and I want to give you some hints and recipes and techniques to make your home cooking a bit more beautiful, nutritious, and delicious so that you can share with your loved ones at your table. I mean, eating alone is eating alone. But to break bread with loved ones is a blessed thing. So be blessed, be grateful, and have a great table. And that's all I got for today. Children of Dune and Dune as the miniseries. It's really good, and I hope you check it out and enjoy it too. Well, as it said in David Lynch's Dune, Usul has called a big one. And I think I did here. So you take care. God bless. Namaste.